morning panel of evaluators. Member 1, Dr. Black. Member 2, Dr. Black. And the chairman, Dr. Black. And also the advisor, Ms. Tyros. I am the cadet at the Newton History Junior, the leader of this group, which has study titled A Quantitative Inquiry on Disaster Response Management of Filipino Maritime Cadets on Board International Vessels. Before we proceed to our discussion, I would like to request everyone, first please put yourself on the presence of the Lord for our short prayer. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Lord God, thank you for this opportunity you have given me today. Let the Holy Spirit enlighten me, give me wisdom, knowledge, understanding for this proposal hearing. Guide me, the panelists and reviewers, as I undergo this activity. Amen. Thank you, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Once again, good morning. I am Tonito Disser Jr. and I have here my members.
I am the assistant leader, Deck Cadet Erwin Alandres.
Deck Cadet Rameso Jimmy Jr.
Deck Cadet Miguel Barza and Deck Cadet John Kenneth Montes Claros.
So this is the brief outline. First, the rationale, theoretical background, statement of the problem, significance of the study, research methodology, definition of terms, and appendices. First, I will show you the rationale of our study. Disaster response management has a huge impact on maritime cadets. There are measures in place to plan for the minimized risk of disaster, that is to predict and prevent potential disaster and its impact to the vulnerable groups. Topmost human error accident on board the department is typically faced that accident is competency and the lack of awareness of safety measures on board. The crews usually take the shortcuts, make things easier yet unsafe for them. Poor communication, the backbone causes human error accidents on board. Gabriel Gon et al. 2013. The purpose of the study is to quantitatively inquire about the level of disaster response management applied to the Filipino maritime cadets on board international vessels. Next slide, please. The main theory of discussion is reporting task studies. Captain M. Stanley, 2011, High Level Organization Theory. The article examines the domain of research of extensively. The high reliability organization has conditions but have fewer their fair drivers and high reliability organization. A committee safety at a higher level and adapt a special approach to the issue. Captain H. Roberts and Robert Bale, 2001. The more than 15 years since the initial publication of Charles Ferrer's normal accidents, practitioners and academics have complained how plane crashes, earth dam, collapse, and collisions, nuclear disasters, and chemical plant explosion can be prevented, mitigated, or avoided. Explosion can be, while no has yet learned how to make the individual available and high reliability organization. HRO has developed and gives some hopes that disaster can be minimized frequently and severity. The value of this research practicing executive to take the lessons learned through the research on HROs and apply them to their own organization. Next slide, please. Our Islam supporting theories. George Ferrer indicated for normal accident theory. Normal accident theory is a situation where the system involves so complex and highly coupled that accident was perhaps the inevitable outcome. The complexity Ferrer described a system where the two or more discrete failures might interact in respective ways. Normal accidents increase the composite interactive complexity, meaning the number of degree systems interrelationship and type of cover the degree which initial failures concentrate rapidly the breakdown parts of the system. Next slide, please. The other studies, Ferrer 1984 believes that there are certain characteristics that make accidents in this organization inevitable. It defines the features and type component interactive complexity, being the amount of dependence between the system components in tightly coupled system. There is a little long slack between the components. Recognize the organization operating the complex system and interact in unexpected manners of high risk. Describe the interactive complexity as the degree in which interaction within the system is unpredictable, complex. Interaction occurs in sequence of events completely unknown, unforeseen, and unexpected.
I'm Deck Cadet Erwin Alandres, the assistant leader. Here's our statement of the problem. This study aims to quantitatively inquire the disaster response management of Filipino maritime cadets on board international vessels and aims to investigate the relationship between the profile of the respondents as to their basic safety training center attended, maritime program accomplished, maritime school attended, international shipping company employer enhanced or years of sea service to the level of disaster response management they have manifested on board international vessels. This study will be conducted in Cebu City for the year 2022. To gauge the research purpose, this study will address the following research questions. Number 1, what is the profile of respondents in terms of basic safety training center attended, maritime academic program accomplished, maritime school attended, international shipping company employer, and bonds or years of sea service? Next, please. Number 2, what is the level of disaster response management of the respondents on board international vessels? Is there a significant relationship between the profile and level of disaster response management of respondents on board international vessels? 4, what recommendations may be proposed based on the findings of the study? Next slide, please. Statement of the null hypothesis. There is no significant relationship between the profile and the level of disaster response management of the respondents on board international vessels. Next slide, please. Significance of the study. Number 1, seafarers. This study benefits seafarers the most because they are the respondents and the majority of the maritime companies and agencies can use it to understand how their seafarers will react in times of disasters. 2, manning agencies. The information in these studies is extremely useful for manning agencies looking for ways to train their seafarers about disaster response management. 3, maritime students. This study will benefit students because it is about disaster response management of maritime cadets whom they can look up to. Furthermore, it can help to strengthen a student's resolve to pursue a maritime career. 4, maritime instructors. Because the majority of BSMT and BSMART instructors are former seafarers, they will find this study useful when sharing their experiences with the students or using it as foundation to shed even more truth on the life of a seafarer at sea and the disasters that the seafarers can encounter while on board. 5, seafarers' family. The foundation of this research will assist relatives of seafarers in understanding the difficulties related to disasters their loved one may face on board. 6, future researchers. The study will be useful reference for researchers who plan to conduct similar research, giving them the opportunity to explore and gain more insight into the type of life that the seafarers experience at sea. This study concept will also serve as a guide for them to be more open-minded and improve the perception of the subject.
I am Cadet Ramiso Jimmy Jr. Research methodology. Research design. This study uses quantitative, descriptive, correlation research designed to determine disaster response management of Filipino maritime cadets on board international vessels. Research flow. Figure 1 illustrates the research flow which carries out or specifies this study input, process, output. Figure 1 is also based on the content of the problem statement. Research environment. The research will be carried out in Cebu, Philippines. The environment is chosen by the researchers to supplement the idea that Cebu has a large population of cadet and experienced seafarers. Research respondents. Sampling procedure. Creswell 2012. The sampling procedure to be used in this study will be non-probability sampling, specifically the snowball sampling. Sampling size procedure, Kozak 2008, guided by the suggestion of minimum sample size for infinite population of long run 2014, which is used to determine the minimum sample size for this study within an infinite population context. Using the multi-stage non-finite population method, or MNP, also known as non-omega approach, at 5% error and 0.95 confidence interval provided 34 sample size as the minimum size to begin with. Research instrument. This study uses modified adapted questionnaire by Bolaños et al. 2016. Effectiveness of basic safety training as perceived by Filipino seafarers to gather data on disaster response management of Filipino maritime cadets on board international vessels. This instrument will use to tailor fit the questionnaire to the context of this study. The survey questionnaires contain an identical set of questions for every respondent. Pilot testing procedure. The researchers have to ensure that their modified adapted instrument has undergone content validation from an expert. With the respondents' consent, the distribution of the questionnaires will follow. A Google form or a printed survey questionnaire will be used by the respondents to answer. After gathering all the survey responses, the researcher will seek advice from their statistician to check the reliability of the instrument. Once the instrument has passed the test of reliability, the researchers can proceed to the actual gathering of data. Research procedure. The research panel will be asked to approve the study during proposal hearing. Once the study will be approved, the researchers will then send transmittal letters to the dean and chairpersons requesting permission to conduct the study. The research instrument will be carefully administered, and so the respondents can observe with convenience upon answering the questionnaire. Data gathering. The researchers will continue to seek the respondents' consent to be part of the study. With their consent, the researchers can continue for the conduct of the study. A Google form or a printed survey questionnaire will be used by the respondents to answer. The researchers will seek the assistance of their statistician for the statistical analysis of the data acquired from their respondents. To guarantee that participants will have the opportunity to make questions, comments, and remarks on the results of the study, the researchers will provide their contact details. Data analysis. This study will use descriptive statistics to analyze the data that will acquired from the respondents. Treatment of data. Simple percentage for the SOP1 and weighted mean for SOP2 versus or correlation for SOP3.
I'm Deck Cadet John Kenneth Montes-Claros. So here are the ethical considerations to be observed by the researcher. First is the worthiness of the research, procedures and protocol, duration, risk, benefits, reimbursements, confidentiality, and sharing of the results. This is the term that the researchers will motivate in their rationality. So here are the quantitative inquiry, disaster expertise, response management, Filipino, maritime cadets on board international vessel, basic safety training center, maritime academic program, maritime school, international shipping company employer, sea service, appendices. Appendix A. This is the transmittal letter to be signed by the dean and chairperson. Then Appendix 2, Part 1 is the profile of the respondents. So we have 5 items. And for the Part 2, the level of disaster response management of the Filipino Maritime Cadet on board international vessel. We have 15 questions.
Before we end our presentation, we would like to leave this pondering statement by Leo Boster. Successful emergency management relies upon experience and expertise. That would be all, panelists. At this point, we are now ready to answer questions that you would like to ask about our study, and we are also ready to take notes all the comments you to share to improve our research. Thank you once again. Good morning.
14 na